He says, philanthropy is an exercise of power. And therefore, like any exercise of power, it should inspire skepticism, not gratitude. Okay? When people serve in the military, they often do so with noble intentions. We have a military because we want to presumably make the world a better place. Well, that's fine, but none of us should say, thank you so much and go home. We got thousands of reporters covering that military. We have multiple congressional committees investigating that military. We have watchdog groups, right? None of that exists for philanthropy. We just assume that because it's noble, it's good. Well, philanthropy changes the public conversation. It alters the marketplace of solutions. It has a direct impact on people's lives. It affects what diseases are fought and what are not fought. It's an exertion of power. And when you put your name on buildings, it helps you wipe dirty reputations clean, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm not sure how many American publications have a philanthropy correspondent. It was $410 billion last year. That's how much philanthropy was. That's a lot of money to basically not cover. That's just a lot of exertion of influence to not cover. And you think we go so hard after like some lobbying firm that takes $5 million, which we should. But like there is stuff happening in philanthropy that as a matter of just the exertion of a few people's influence over public life exists on a scale that makes K Street look trivial. And so I think one of the big things that I actually wanted to do with the book was to not only change how the public thinks about who it outsources change to, but give journalists a new vocabulary for thinking about philanthropy. And I have to say I'm very happy that this is already happening with or without my book, which is when Bezos made his announcement, $2 billion to give to homelessness and education. It was probably the first mega entrant into this big philanthropy thing in some years. And a lot of people have been waiting. This is the biggest fortune in the world. Like, what's he going to do? What's he going to do? There was a kind of anticipation. And I would say that the general response was different from previous times. It was not just bow down to the Lord. There was some of that, and there was a lot of, yeah, but he doesn't pay his workers enough, and yeah, but he doesn't do like that was baked. That wasn't day one coverage.
Right.
I know because I got a lot of those phone calls on day one coverage from reporters on Deadline who don't have a lot of time. That was in their head on day one. That is progress. And a lot of criticism was written in the ensuing 10 days or so. And then he came back and he said, we're raising our wages to $15 an hour because we listen to critics. Now, it turns out they also cut productivity bonuses and stock options. So,
so there's work
he's on
to be
a journey, and he's on the early part of the journey. We are not there yet, to answer the kid's question. But I think there is something happening where we are starting to learn that when you hear rich man giving money away, you think, you show up with questions, not thanks.